In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the right front CV shaft on this BMW X5. This is going to be located behind the right front wheel. Let's get into it. We're going to remove the wheel, use a 19mm socket, take these lug bolts out. Before I take the last one out, I'm just going to hold the wheel from falling. Then grab the wheel and pull it off. We're going to take the axle nut off. It's peened over right on the sides there. You can just take a chisel or a punch. Just try to hammer it out a little bit. Just make it a little easier to take off. Looks good. We're going to use a 36mm 12-point socket. Take the nut off. Using a punch, we're just going to tap the axle loose from the hub. All right, that's as far as I can go. We're going to take this nut off, use a 22mm socket. This is for the tie rod end. Pull that off. You want to separate that from the knuckle. Sometimes you can just tap it with a hammer. Other times you're going to need some type of a front end removing tool. Now using a puller, as we tighten this down, we're going to separate the tie rod from the knuckle. There we go. Separate that. Using a 22mm socket, we're going to take this nut off. Now I'm going to use a puller and just separate the ball joint from the lower control arm. Slide that down. I'm going to separate the level sensor. I'm going to use a 9mm wrench on the back, 10mm socket. Take this nut off. Slide that out of the way. Now using a 16mm socket and an 18mm socket, we're going to take this nut and bolt out. Just pull the level sensor out, the low control arm. I'll just disconnect this so it's not hanging. Just push down on the tab. So there's two tabs. Slide that out. I'm going to use a 18mm socket, take this nut off, and use some locking pliers on the back side of the stud to prevent it from spinning. Set that aside. Now just push the axle through. Pop that out. I just used an air hammer, just make it a little easier. Just pull this out of the way, just like that. I'm going to use a punch from the back side. Just give it a tap. There you go, pop it out. You want a drain bucket underneath just in case any of the gear oil comes out. Slide that out of the way. Now slide the axle in. Get it lined up on the splines. You can try to push it in. If you're struggling a little bit, you can give it a tap with a hammer with a rubber mallet. Just get it to bottom out. That's good. Just double check, make sure the axle is all the way in. And this one looks good. Now pull the knuckle out, slide the axle in. Just twist it a little bit. Twist the rotor to get it to line up. There we go. Now get this lined up. Tap that in place. And take the bolt. And if you have a leveling sensor, you want that leveling sensor bracket on there as well. Just get the bracket lined up. There's a little pin. Get that lined up there. Tap that in place. Get the nut on. You want that just snug, not too tight. We are gonna, once it's all back together, we're gonna come back around and torque these. Connect the connector. Lock that down. Take the level sensor. Connect that stud through there. Put the nut on. Snug this down. Take the sway bar link, get it installed in the sway bar, and put the nut on. Snug that down. I'm going to torque this nut to 47 foot-pounds. That's good. Take the locking pliers off. I'm going to attach this front arm to the ball joint. Get that lined up. Get the nut started. Now I'm using a pull jack. I'm just going to raise this up. Snug that down. Torque this nut to 59 foot-pounds. I'm just going to lower the pull jack for now. Get that out of the way. Now take the outer tie rod, slide that through the knuckle. Get the nut started. Snug this down. I'll torque this to 59 foot-pounds. Pull this off. Now I'm going to raise the suspension with the pull jack. Just get it as close to ride height as possible before we torque the bushing in the back. Now I'm going to torque this to 74 foot-pounds. And lower the pull jack. Now put the axle nut on. Snug it down. I'll take some of the lug bolts, get those started. And take a pry bar. Just go in between. Just going to prevent the rotor from spinning. Now we're going to torque the nut to 310 foot-pounds. There you go. The lug bolts off. Then on the nut, I'm just going to take a punch and just peen over the edge of the nut. On both sides. There you go. Now install the wheel. Get that lined up. And get the lug bolt started. And get the rest of them started. And snug those down. Now we're going to torque the lug bolts to 111 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. Go around again, double check.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.